Hi everyone, Viridian Art here. We are going to make a Mother's Day wreath. You can give it to someone special any time of year. You'll need pencil and paper. Also, I have something to add color in with. I'm going to be using watercolor. Also something to trace. I'm using just this empty palette. You can use a plate, a paper plate will work, anything round and close to the size of your paper. So I will be making the letter M on mine. You can do any letter on yours for whomever you will be giving this to. If you want to make a bubble letter, you can make the lines of your letter a little wider just by drawing lines right next to them. And if you would like to fancy it up, you can add just little curls or swirls on the end. You could do it in handwriting, in cursive, or printing. So this is the start of my floral wreath. I'm going to start adding in some color, whether you're using watercolors like I am, or a different type of paint, or crayons. We're going to start with just some nice big shapes of color. So I'm going to pick a few places. I'm getting my paint really, really wet, plenty of water, and just creating some circular shapes. I may make some oval shapes, but this should be really light, whether you're using a different material or the same as me. Try and keep these pretty light. And I'm randomly putting these in. So I want to stay close to my circle, but I do want different shapes. So it can be on your circle or close to it. And we're not getting too detailed with any flowers right now. I'm just getting in some basic shapes. So I'm going to do some with 4 petals, some that are just round, and any colors that you'd like. I'm even going to do these little bunches of dots. And we'll go back into these, add more details to them. We just want to get a few to start. So everything's staying pretty close to my wreath. I'm going to let that dry for just a moment. Once that is dry, I'm going to start adding in some greens. So the green is what is going to connect everything. So I'm going to make, it's almost like a little V shape going right along my circle that I traced. You can use any colors for this. If you want to do something other than green, feel free to. Now I have one layer of my greens. I'm going to use a different green. And if you only have one color of green, you can always mix green and yellow or green and blue to change the colors. I'm going to add some pointy leaves sticking out. So the goal is to keep it round. So everything you add, make sure you're staying pretty close to the circles. Once you give that a moment to dry, we can use a smaller brush and we're going to start adding details. Instead of continuing with the same medium, the same materials, you can change it. So you're welcome to throw in colored pencils or crayons if you're using watercolor. So I'm switching to a smaller brush, but I'm going to continue with watercolor, and I'm going to add in some fun details into my flowers. So you can choose another color to add in, or even the same color and just go darker by mixing more paint in or pressing your brush or pencil or crayon harder. So I just used the same orange, I just used more paint in there to make the inside a little bit darker. And to make watercolor darker, you just really have to mix your brush in there. You can add in any fun details that come to mind. So I'm just layering in more color, making it more interesting to look at. And my little round flowers, I'm going to add in a little swirl. So right on top, just using a darker color. My orange ones, I'm adding a black center. And some lines coming out from the center. You could change each one or do each of the same color flower with the same patterns. Completely up to you. Once you are done, you're welcome to use your Sharpie. You can outline any of your flowers, but we can also outline our initial in the center. Once you are done with that, you can keep adding with color or feel free to outline any of your designs of your wreath. So keep adding and creating on this floral wreath. You can add in as much detail as you'd like and as many colors as you'd like. We want it nice and full. I hope everyone enjoyed this lesson and see you next time. Bye.